done so much. But yeah, not quite crawling. Here he is! It's the 9-month-old! And welcome back to another video. Today I am filming my baby boy's 9-month update. So this is going to be the third baby update video that I've done on my channel. So if you're new to my channel, the way that I film Elliot's baby updates is I talk about the last 3 months at a time. So I did 0 to 3 months, then I did 3 to 6, and then today I'm going to be talking about everything that's happened between 6 months and now he is 9 months. Can't believe in 3 months time he's going to be a year old. Oh my god, don't even get me started on that. But yeah, let's get into all of the milestones and just some like personal achievements that have happened to Elliot since he's been between 6 and 9 months. Just after Elliot turned 6 months, it was literally the week that he turned 6 months. I think I'd only just filmed his update and he started rolling over because he was so close to doing it just before he turned 6 months. So he's been rolling over for like 3 months now, and it's like, it feels like such a old achievement that he's done because he's done so much in like between 6 and 9 months. I've got a huge list of things that have happened. So yeah, he started rolling over about 6 months old. Another huge thing to happen to Elliot in his like early months was he got to his first tooth just before New Year. So he would have been about 7 months old then. He got his bottom tooth come through, and literally days later the one next to it, so he almost got 2 teeth at once come through. So that's a huge thing in a baby's life, and it's sort of a bit of a milestone, isn't it, when they get those first teeth come through. And I think that would explain why in November, when he was 6 months, he did go through a really bad sort of, I don't know if it was a sleep regression or it might have been because he was teething. We had quite a bad month of sleep for him. I won't talk too much about that because I've done a whole video on Elliot's like sleep and stuff. I'll leave it at the top of the screen if you're interested in like baby sleep chat and stuff like that. But he had a month where he slept quite badly, which wasn't like him. He is quite a good sleeper on the whole. But we think that could have been because he had 2 teeth coming through. A few like little things that we've noticed in the last few months is that he kind of like does this thing where he's got like, he twirls his wrists and he's got like a lot more motion in his hands, and he also can now clap if you show him how. He hasn't done it without us like showing him first, but he has clapped a few times. Since he turned 6 months he has made a lot more sounds, and he picked up this sort of like new frustration noise that he does when he's annoyed about something, and he definitely is aware of how to let us know when he's not happy at the moment. He's got a lot more, like just the variety of sounds that he's making is a lot more vast. Talking of like sounds and things, he has been making a lot more like, not like words, but he's like chatting, like doing baby talk. And one of his words that he kind of, we call it a word, obviously it's not a word, he says baba quite a lot, so almost like baby. So we say you're the baba, and we have heard him say dada and mama, but he doesn't say it with any meaning. These are just sounds that we have heard him make. Which is really good. At least we've heard them noises come out of his mouth. So yeah, he's sort of saying like baba, occasionally dada and mama, and then just making a lot of different sounds really, which is, I think, is quite a positive thing, because quite often you can hear that little boys are a little bit slow to start speaking compared to girls. So I'm glad that we've heard a bit of noise coming out of his mouth. Not sure about the frustration noises though, he could tone them down a little bit. In terms of his movement and things like that, as I said at the start, he began rolling over, and we have noticed that since he's rolling over he can move across the room like with a lot more ease, but he hasn't mastered crawling at all. He's very close, but he crawls backwards. He hasn't really learned how to move forward. So like if you leave him in a room and you're like watching him, he knows how to sort of move from the room. He'll like roll. That's how he kind of gets, like he's definitely covering space in a room, if that makes sense, but he's not doing it through crawling. But then if you lay him, or if he like rolls onto his tummy, he shuffles backwards and he's quite good at like pivoting and turning his body round, but he just has not got the moving forward part yet. So he crawls backwards but not forwards. But he is definitely getting there. He is moving around, but just not in the kind of conventional crawling sense, if that makes sense. I'll try and insert like cutaways while I've been talking so you can see what I mean. So yeah, he's not quite crawling, and I think he's got a bit of like frustration going on at the moment because he's quite close to doing it, but he's not mastered it yet. But yeah, not quite crawling, but definitely rolling all over the show, and he can move around a room basically because he can roll now. Then another quite big thing that we have noticed probably in the last few weeks has been that Elliot is learning how to stand whilst holding on to something. So like he stands and holds onto his cot without us holding him now. So his freestanding is getting really, really good, and he can literally stand for like longer than a minute. We've watched him before he kind of loses his balance, and we sometimes will put him up against like a chair, and he's really getting quite good at standing whilst holding on to something. And he's very confident actually, because like when he's standing here, sometimes he'll even like let go of one of his hands, and just be like holding on with one hand. So he's obviously got some good strength in his legs, which we've always sort of thought that he had anyway. So yeah, he can stand without us holding him for a couple of minutes at a time. So that's quite a big thing that we've noticed that he's doing now. So the next things that I'm going to be talking about are all some sort of like personal achievements that have happened to Elliot since he's been between 6 and 9 months. So Elliot celebrated his first Christmas recently, which was lovely. I think, yeah, he would have been about nearly 8 months at Christmas. We had a lovely first Christmas with him. Obviously it wasn't the whole 2020 was just a bit of a strange year. So it wasn't like a big family celebration, obviously, it wasn't for anyone. But we still managed to have a really special Christmas with him. He was absolutely overwhelmed by all his presents, and he was knackered that night. I have to insert this picture that we took of him at bath time on Christmas evening, and he was so wired, like just from all the present opening, all the new toys. It was way too much for him, and I think we spent a good week after Christmas like just trying to catch up with, like it really set his routine back quite a bit. But yeah, it was quite a lot for him. I think a lot of mums I noticed said that with their baby's first Christmas. So yeah, he had his first Christmas, and then shortly afterwards at New Year, my dad gave Elliot his first little haircut, which was really cute. That's a bit of a like milestone in a baby's life, isn't it? Your first haircut. Another really big thing to happen was that Elliot is no longer co-sleeping with us. He is now fully sleeping in his nursery, and yeah, it was quite a big change. We started that in January, so it's not been that long now, only about a month and a bit, and it's going really well. He's sleeping in his little, well, it's not little at all actually, he's sleeping in his sleepyhead Grand because he loves that. We're still using white noise and everything, and yeah, it's going really well. But as I said a minute ago, at around the 6-month age, Elliot's sleep completely changed, and he doesn't sleep through the night anymore. If you've watched my 3 to 6 month video, I spoke about how he was sleeping through the night. He no longer does that. He wakes up in the night for a feed, which leads me on to say that Elliot is still breastfed. I think I breastfeed him about 3 times a day now. I breastfeed him before he goes down to bed in the evenings, and then I breastfeed him once at night if he wakes up, and then I breastfeed him in the morning when he wakes up again before his breakfast. So that is all I'm doing now, which is considerably less than what it was when he was a newborn. I'm really pleased that I'm still doing it though, and I'm just gonna like wean it off gradually. And speaking of weaning, his weaning is going so well. He loves his food, and right about now he is having kind of like 3 meals a day. So we'll give him something for breakfast. It could be anything from like Weetabix, like half a Weetabix, some porridge, a slice of toast. He's doing so good, and we felt a little bit more confident even since he had his like 2 teeth come through. So it just gives you that confidence that he's got a little bit more biting ability and he's learning to swallow a lot better. And the first month was a little bit scary, like watching them learn to swallow and whatnot, but we're really having a good time with him weaning. And then he has a little lunch, so maybe some fruit or yogurt. He's just really good, and he's trying everything, which is lovely. I love watching him eat. It's so fun and interesting, and he so far is a really good eater, which is lovely. It just makes dinner times and meal times a little bit more fun and interactive, and it gives you as a parent some enthusiasm, because when you're a working mum, you know, having inspiration for meal times, it's hard sometimes, but I try my best now to make an effort for Elliot and try and make food interesting. That's my goal anyway. And then he'll have a dinner with us in the evening. We always try and eat our meals with Elliot, which I really like, and we're going to strive to do that, because I think that's a really nice family thing to do, eat your meal together. And then in between that, Elliot has a couple of bottles each day of blue milk, like whole milk. So that's kind of what he eats and drinks now. Bit of breast milk, food throughout the day, and then a bit of cow's milk kind of thing. And then also, speaking about the weaning, his pincer grip is getting really good. He's getting quite good at picking food up, feeding himself. So yeah, he is doing so well at weaning, and I'm really pleased about that. And then the last thing that I will add to Elliot's 6 to 9 month update is the fact that we as a family found out that Elliot is going to be a big brother this summer, which is insane. I'm having another baby this year, which is so crazy to think that our little 9-month-old baby boy will be a big brother this year. I can't believe it. 2 under 2. Oh my goodness. So I'll be looking back on Elliot's updates one day, and I'll be comparing them to baby number 2 and seeing how they're different, because I'm sure they're going to be so different. But yeah, hopefully I'll be doing like multiple baby updates, which would be really exciting. To finish this video off, I will quickly go and get Elliot to show you what he looks like at 9 months. So I usually film these with him, the last couple, but he's getting to an age now where we would not sit here still for 15 minutes that I've been talking. Here he is! It's the 9-month-old! You gonna stand? Oh, look at Daddy. Oh, Nemo. Oh. Thank you, Daddy. We think he is imminently about to get more teeth coming through, because he's not been a happy boy this week. He's been quite upset, although he is also going through a developmental leap. And oh, I forgot to mention as well, another thing that's happened is that Elliot experienced his first ever snow when he was 9 months. There's been so much that's happened between 6 and 9 months. We've noticed he's developed so much. Lots have happened. And yeah, he still loves to pop things in his mouth. He still sucks his little fingers. I mentioned that in his last update. His hair has absolutely like come through. I mentioned that he had a haircut, but like it's really thickened up his lovely hair. And yeah, he's just an absolute gorgeous boy. I know I'm very biased, but yeah, he's a pleasure really, isn't he? Daddy's nodding. Right, show you one more time. Can you say anything on this update, Mum? Dad. Oh no, Penny's got Peter. Right, I leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love it if you subscribe for more content like this. I make everything about motherhood and life in between. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye.